Hi, in this video we'll be filtering out file names. So for this example, I have this files folder in my working directory. So I invite you to create a similar folder named files, and inside that folder please put these text files. You can find these files attached in the lecture resources and upload them in your files directory. So let's suppose that these are bills pointing to different dates or so, but the naming of these files is not that good. As you see, the person who named them did not use the best practices to name files, but that is why regular expressions exist. So our goal here is to filter only those bills from 1st of November until the 20th of November. That means we want to extract this first file, nov13, the second, nov12, nov22, not this one because this is after November the 20th. Then we want this as well, November 14th, not this, not October, so only the first one, the second and the third one. Let's see how we can do that. Before we write the regular expression, we want to get a list of these files. For that, we want to use the path class of the pathlib library. If you don't know what this is, you need to go back to the course and take the file and folder operations sections. There I introduce you to the pathlib library. So then we want to create a root directory which points to the folder where the files are located. So files is the name of the folder. Once we have that, we can create a list. File names is equal to root dir.iter dir. And let's print out file names here, convert it into a list because it's a generator object. And that is the list of file paths. There's a problem though. These items are not strings. These are POSIX path object types. So we want to convert them into strings. We can use a list comprehension for that. File names as a new variable str. So to denote that these items of this list will be strings, that is equal to a list comprehension which would go like file name dot name. From each POSIX path we extract the name, which will give us only that part. For file name in file names, that one. And let's print out file names str. Now we're going to get an empty list here. That is because file names at this point of the execution is empty because since file names was a generator object, that means when we converted it into a list, when we convert the generator into a list, that means we use the generator, so the generator is exhausted. Therefore, a solution is to get this list comprehension and also the variable call here and just place it in here. So now we generate a generator again in here, and then we don't print that out, so we don't exhaust it, but we use it in here in this list comprehension. This time we will get this list. So now the list is stored in this variable and we can use it further. So let's now write the regular expression. So we want to find bills from November the 1st to November the 20th. That means our files will always have this nov part. Now some files will have a capital N, so uppercase letter. We can ignore case sensitivity using re.ignore case as a second argument. So that means both nov with a capital letter and nov with lowercase letters will be included in the match. Sometimes though we have November and sometimes we have just Nov. So what we could do is we could just write a range here from A to Z, and we could use a meta character, so 0 or more times the asterisk, like that. Then after that we have a dash, right? So it could be Nov dash or November dash. Then the next character could be 1 or 2, because we are filtering out only from the 1st of November until the 20th of November. So it could be Nov 1, Nov 2, Nov 3, Nov 4, Nov 5, Nov 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and so on. So the next character is a number. And so we use this parentheses, so we have to use some OR operators inside these, like that. And we said the first number could be first from 1 to 9, so 1 to 9 range. So we want to work on every 10 digits. Whenever you want to filter digits or numbers with regular expressions, so let's say 1 to 67, you want to treat first the range from 1 to 9, so 1 digit, and then you want to treat the next range from 10 to 19, and then the next. So that's what we're doing here. First we work on the first range of numbers, so 1 digit from 1 to 9, we say that, or it could be 10, 11, 12 until 19, so it could be 1 followed by 0 to 9. So 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, until 1, 9. Then again the vertical bar, or 20. So just 20. If you had to go up to 23rd of November, then you'd do something like 2, and then in square brackets you'd insert a range, 0 to 3. So that would include 20, 21, 22, and 23. This is not the case, we just want 20, so 20 is fine. Then after that, after the number, we have the dot and the txt part. So I executed that, but we haven't extracted the actual matches yet, so I shouldn't have executed it. So let's add the matches. Matches are... Now we have a list here, so be careful, because previously we were working on text strings, but this is a list, right? The IP addresses were coming as text as one single string. So in this case, we want to work on a list comprehension. We would say something like file name for file name in file names str. So we go through that list, but if pattern dot find all file name matches. I'll explain you that list comprehension in just a bit. So that's the output. Nov 12, Nov 13, November 14th. Now there's not 20 here, so let's try to add a 20 in here, in these files. So create new file, and let's say nov20.txt, go back to the notebook and execute the first cell where we get the files from the working directory. Execute that. So you see nov20 is there now. Execute the other cell as well, and we get nov20. So it's working well, but let me explain you how this works. So we're iterating over the file name string list, this list here. File name for file name in file string. And now we will include in the matches list only if this evaluates to true. So this evaluates to true only when the pattern is found in the file name, in the current file name of the iteration. So we iterate over these. So let's say first we have this as the file name variable inside this list comprehension, and we say, is this pattern in that file name? So if it is, then that file name will be included in the list. So it will be added to the matches list. Otherwise, it will not be added to that list. So we will end up with a matches list which will contain only those file names which satisfy this condition here. And that concludes this video on filtering data that contain numbers. So thank you again, and I'll talk to you in the following videos.